आमा सच गोरिए नी तेरे सिर तो पता सेवा
Debating Matters, first initiated in the United Kingdom by the Institute of Ideas, is now a thriving debating competition in India. Hosted in India by the British Council, in partnership with the Institute of Ideas, it pushes 16 to 18-year-olds to engage in debate about contemporary society at a high level. Professionals from all walks of life cross-examine the students, encouraging them to deepen their understanding of the world around them.
Here you're taken seriously by people, otherwise there are not very many people willing to listen to you. Like in the school debates that we have, we usually go up on stage, we talk for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then we get off. Nobody challenges us. We don't challenge anyone.
Here we have eminent personalities questioning us. We have a chance to question each other. And that's like very interesting.
This video provides an insight into the excitement generated by Year 3 of Debating Matters India, which engaged nearly 400 schools, involved regional finals in 8 cities, and culminated in an exciting national final hosted by IIT Madras in November 2010.
The very encouraging and very exhilarating factor was that we had 4 cities, smaller cities from outside the metro. So we had Chandigarh, we had Pune, we had Ahmedabad, we had Guwahati. So it was not just Mumbai and Delhi and Chennai and Kolkata, the big cities.
We're going to be discussing a very important topic. Curbing population growth is an urgent priority for India. Very important topic for India, but also, in fact, a debate that happens outside of India, often referred to in the UK. This is an argument that I've certainly had on many occasions.
You remember how when you were a kid, your mom would ask what you wanted to grow up to do, and you would say, I want to change the world. Well, guess what, Mom? We did, by simply multiplying. Not geometrically, but exponentially. Bigger, better, more people, more money, more cities, more consumers. We live in a world that thinks more is all good.
Fact is, in 1798, Thomas Malthus said that there are too many people and that premature death would visit mankind. Then, the Industrial Revolution happened. All these doomsday predictors were wrong, and are wrong because they overlook a very fundamental point about human nature: man's inherent ability to overcome his problems. Good afternoon.
Win or lose, any team that's participating in Debating Matters gives me great hope for the future, for themselves and for the society in which they live in. Because the essence of being able to find solutions in tomorrow's world is going to be through dialogue and being able to resolve issues amicably without coming to blows or going to war.
When children talk about these issues, there's a freshness and there's a certain idealism.
Whether it's organ donation, whether it's the science of climate change, whether it's the UID project, whether it's questions about population, we want you to understand in depth the evidence, the issues, the principles, the ethics, the best of what has been said to date on this issue, and understand all the nuances and the different sides of the debate.
The friend of mine who actually suggested I participate, he said, well mate, this is something totally different from what we've been really doing. Unless you participated, you really haven't ever debated. And it just struck me. I mean, this is one guy who's debated on a national level and he's telling me this, and he was actually right. More about just merely saying things, just being rhetoric. A lot of the time now the judges are good. Why? Because they look beyond those rhetorical statements. They look beyond all that. They look, how are you working as a team? Are you really debating the matter? Are you really concerned about what you're saying? Do you understand what the implications of what you're saying are?
Could I ask you maybe to explain the success of China, the country that has the biggest population in the world and has experienced a massive growth? I mean, India at the moment, its GDP is 78%. Are you going to call for a halt to that economic growth by asking for a reduction of the people who drive that growth?
There are so many people who are underdeveloped, underemployed, disguised employment still exists, malnutrition is there. So you cannot just by stating facts, this much is the young population does not mean it is contributing to the economy.
you're completely ignoring the urgency of the matter that we've got this, big population of about 200 million at least in slums or more than that, who've got no housing, no health, no education, no infrastructure. How do you tackle that?
See, that's the point. We're saying the urgent priority right now is not to reduce the number of people, to just merely reduce the number of people. The priority right now is to get those 400 million people those basic standards of living. We need to eradicate poverty, not the people who are poor.
I really like how the judges challenge us with a variety of questions. I think it gives us a new perspective to think beyond what we've already read. The pressure makes you think, the thinking under pressure is so much more exhilarating than it would have been in normal circumstances.
It's only through debating and only through public speech and where experts, the public, and other people of the opposite opinion question you and criticize, that's when it's criticism that matters. And I think Debating Matters pulls it off brilliantly well.
Making them aware of the issues and the things which are happening around them, making them more inquisitive about it, making them think, initiate analytical, critical, logical thinking and that serves the holistic purpose of education.
And generally speaking, this should be a free-flowing row.
I have two questions for you. One is, just now you said that we have tried, but we have not succeeded curbing population. So doesn't that mean that it is an urgent priority? And you also said that overcrowdedness does not indicate poverty. How?
See, that's the thing. It did not work because it was a mere symptom of a much larger problem. The much larger problem was poverty and a very big economical disparity between the rich and the poor. We weren't addressing that issue. We were merely bothered about population, a mere implication of those issues. We did not address those issues, and hence the population did not get controlled. So urgent priority still for us then would be to address that core issue. Why keep banging into the wall again and again if you can see a door?
The panelists that we've had here for the question time and for the inspiration events, they've been just brilliant, and also the students are socializing a lot, so that's good to see. So hopefully we'll have another alumni network which is as successful as DMI1. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Debating Matters has inspired us so much that we're actually suggesting this to our colleges. Since we've been a part of the session managing, the individual judging, we now know how the judges think about how the judges choose the winners. And so we've been through this. So now we've come to a position where we can actually tell people and tell them how to go about it, and then just promote this thing so that it will bring about greater change in the future.
What I found most interesting regarding Debating Matters India was the amount of research that has gone through. Starting from the online elimination test, I think we just did a couple of days research and then we appeared for the online elimination test. For the regional finals, around 2 to 3 weeks we did research. And for the national finals, the amount of research that went into preparation, it just kept on increasing.
Everyone knows that land is a finite resource. So why don't we make optimal use of land by, say, vertical expansion and other such measures, and make optimum use of land instead of curbing population?
You said that Malthus was proved wrong. Within a few decades, he will be predicted right, because the earth is a closed ecosystem.
Don't you think the issue of population has become more like a scapegoat for politicians to point fingers at because of their inability to provide adequate resources for the, people?
Human resource is the most valuable of all. Every human, if allowed to express their creativity, contribute more towards the world than they consume. Is it the need of the hour to curb the most valuable resource instead of using it wisely?
The concern, don't you think, rather than finding new resources, should be what if our environment gets uninhabitable?
The modern political theory of Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. They say that as population grows, so do quarrels, contentions, and conflicts. And population growth in an unprecedented way results in either unequal rights or equal but progressively limited rights, because we are living in a finite space. It's a drag on distributive justice.
I think these kids are just brilliant. You rock. When my dear friend Debanjan from the British Council suggested that we become partners for this, we felt honored. And the point which just brought us over was that they would not focus on clever semantics, on language, on your diction, on pronunciation like we do in India. I think it was just the content, the ideas, which was really, really wonderful.
Had a wonderful time, although I would have preferred that seat. Unfortunately, we have to judge, and luckily the announcement is left to the chairperson of the judges. So once again, let me congratulate the people who organized this. Let me thank you all for bringing it here, and we'd be happy to host it year after year.
In the opinion of the judges, the winners of Debating Matters India 2010 is DAV Chandigarh.
In finishing, I'd like to urge you all to become more utopian and more idealistic.
This is one place where I asked to explore and imagine, and that new imagination is really respected. So this is one of the best places that I've found this platform. I think this is the best platform, and also it is a great experience to meet people of our age from all over India who think so cleverly. So you get to learn not only from the people who are much more experienced than you, but also from the people who are of your age. So it's a great, great platform. Thank you very much, Debating Matters. Thank you very much, British Council.